Real Estate Wholesalers Success Blueprint, presented today by Eurotrade, the investment bank. Ever wished that you'd made more money? Want to know what you need to be doing to make money wholesaling in real estate? Want an easier way to find buyers? Instead of beating your head against the wall, it's time to get smart. If you're already a wholesaler, then you should be reviewing your business model. Have a look at these two plans that are presented here to make more money wholesaling real estate. And explanations go through how to get more buyers quickly and getting more money from every property deal that you do. It's not too difficult once you break things down. Have a look at the competitors. There are two sets of competitors out there. They're professionals, and it's not necessary for you to be competing against everyone, and particularly not professionals. There's also a lot of not so professionals out there who you can compete against, and there's no need for you to be the best. All you have to do is be better than some of them, and it's just a matter of learning. There are things that you can pick up and there are things that you need to practice. The combination of learning and practice is what's going to make the difference between you and the other competitors. Those who learn are those who earn, and substantial amounts of money if you're a real estate wholesaler. When do you want to make the money? Once the property has a buyer, there's the opportunity for you to make money. You can be assigning the contract, or you can actually be selling or assigning a real estate option to purchase. Who are most likely to be the ones that are going to give you the money? And how soon are those people likely to give you the money? You have to make a list as to who those people are, and you also have to appreciate the importance of time. Now, you should not be in a hurry to make money as a real estate wholesaler, like the majority of wholesalers are. If you take your time, you can actually make a lot more money. If you hurry and want money early, the amount you're going to receive is a lot less than if you wait and take the money later. You make more money later by participating not so much as a wholesaler, but more like an investor. It's not essential for you to be the investor, but what you can do is you can take on the investor's role and grab the lion's share of the profits rather than a meagre mouthful, which is what most real estate wholesalers are doing at present. Now, there is an opportunity to compound capital in real estate and most investments. In such instances, then, it is sometimes opportune to take the money sooner, which means, yes, you make less money up front, but by compounding it over time, it will grow and actually result in being a lot more money. Haste can mean waste, but again, if you can compound it, it's often worth doing. Now let's have a look at the money ladder. These are the people who are likely or not likely to be giving you money. Firstly, there are renters. All that the renters can manage to do is to pay you the rent, and some can't even do that. So don't expect anything more from renters. Next on the run are the tenant buyers. These are people that may have a small deposit to pay for a lease option, in which case you do make some money, and with the way the rents actually increased above the market rate, there is a monthly additional amount that you can be receiving. If you're doing a sandwich option, there's also an extra capital amount at the end of the rainbow. Expect an option fee on a lease option of around 5% of the property's market value. Now let's have a look at another rung up the ladder. Investors. Investors are looking for a significant discount in order to make their investments. So although they've actually got money, they don't part with it gladly. They're more like Scrooge, and as a consequence, you're not going to get more than around about 10% of the value of the property when you flick or assign the contract to the investor. Now further up the ladder are the home seekers. These are the retail buyers. These are the people where you can actually make the most amount of money from, because they actually use the finance process. You are not actually looking at them buying at anything less than full market value, full retail value. And if you've actually either got an option or a purchase contract for less than the market value, then you can make money, provided you can arrange the finance and wait for the process for these home seekers to be able to complete the purchase. In a lot of instances, the real estate wholesaler proceeds far too quickly, does not actually ever get near the retail buyers, and hands properties onto the investors, who actually do ultimately sell to the retail buyers at full market value. Now the next rung on the ladder is the home equity investor. There's very good money in this sort of client or investor, and they can actually be primed to suit your particular business. What you have to do though is to develop your business model, and you base it on the target market that you're after. Now you're certainly not going to be looking at the renters, but you could be looking at tenant buyers. However, if you lift your eyes up a bit higher, you can see that you can make more money further up the real estate ladder. So who are you actually aiming at? What is the ideal target market for you? Do you want to stick with the investor, or do you want to actually have a look at the retail home seeker, or even better, the home equity investor? You need to specify the buyer profile of your targets, and then develop your marketing plan so it will actually deliver the specific customers that you want. All too often what is happening with the real estate wholesaler is they grab a property, they manage to get a contract out of a seller, but they have no prospects, they have no buyers, there's no one lined up to take the property or to take the assignment of the contract. In which case, in a lot of instances, the deal just doesn't go through, and the real estate wholesaler just loses that particular contract. The seller just walks. So the business model for most real estate wholesalers that are doing that, it's severely flawed, right? Now, what you really need to do is to have a coherent business plan and a marketing plan. There's so many real estate wholesalers out there that don't even have a business plan. So what are their chances of being able to hit the bullseye? Now, as I mentioned earlier, the real estate wholesalers tend to prematurely contract with a home seller. That is, before they find a buyer, before they have an investor, retail home seeker, or the home equity buyer. And if what you're doing is grabbing hold of properties before you've actually got an investor or a buyer there, then the chances are you're just not going to complete and you won't make any money. Some seem to think that buyers are going to majestically come out of the clouds and materialise from the heavens. Well, this is reality. It that doesn't happen, right? Investors basically will come around knocking on some doors and looking for deals, but there are so many deals out there, there are more deals than investors. What's going to make them knock on your door? This is where your marketing program should come into play if you're after investors. If, on the other hand, you're after another type of client, then you'll need to do something different. But let's look at Plan A, and Plan A is basically going for investors. You need to cultivate them, you need to build a list of investors, and once you've got a list of eager, hungry investors willing and wanting to buy investment properties, then you've actually got customers. But don't rely on being able to find the investor once you've got the property. Find the investor first, then making the deal is easy. You'll actually have investors lined up, you'll know what sort of properties they want, and therefore the properties that you actually go out and contract will be the ones that your investors have actually said they want to buy. Now, what could be easier than that? Now, there's Plan B. I think Plan B is in fact even easier than investors, and there's a lot more money in it. And this is actually dealing with home equity investors. These are people that basically don't have money to invest. They still have a home mortgage, and what they do with every dollar that they earn is they pay as much as they can down off their mortgage, so they actually build up equity in their property. So what you have to teach them is that's not the smartest way to pay your home loan off quickly. If you wish to pay your home loan off quickly, then what you have to do is to invest money. So you teach your home equity investor or your mortgage holder or borrower to actually borrow out the equity, use that as a deposit on an investment property, and then have them finance the balance of the investment property. So you need to organise them, and you need to develop or help them design a mortgage management plan which is based on the acquisition of an investment property. You put the two together, the home mortgage and the investment, and by working it together, the mortgage will be paid off in record time. It can be paid off in well under 10 years if done correctly, without requiring the investor to put his hand in his pocket for any more money. It can all be done through the finance and the equity in their home. Now, you have to be able to help the home equity investor organise finance. This means then the equity loan against their home. It could be a second mortgage, it could be a line of credit, it could be just an increase in the overall first mortgage. Then you have to assist them with the financing of the investment property, which could be a first mortgage, or it could be a first mortgage and a second mortgage. Now, why should you worry about the finance? Well, this is where the money comes from that you can have. So take charge of it. Grab the money, make it happen for your home equity investor, and you'll be the one that actually ends up with a profit. And if you cultivate this type of investor or home buyer, then you'll have a happy throng of waiting, willing investors that rely on you to do every aspect, every part of this deal. They cannot do it by themselves, and your competitors are unable to do it also. Now, don't rely anymore on finding investors. Have a look at the people who actually have mortgages on a property. People who've bought a home are more likely to be willing to buy another home than people who've never bought a home. And people who have a mortgage to pay off are much keener to actually get involved in a mortgage management plan and will pay full retail price than what an investor, normal investor, will do. So you can actually have the home equity investors lined up and be making plenty more money than what you're currently doing. There were two action plans that you could implement right now. You could implement both, or you could select one of them, right? Now, if you do either or both, you'll never be looking for a buyer, an investor, ever again. You will have them there ready, willing and waiting for you whenever you actually have a property. Plan A operates much faster. However, the money that comes in is much smaller, dealing with the investor. Plan B produces a lot more money, but it takes more time and some work to train your buyers and to actually complete each aspect of the process. You need to be able to organise finance and, of course, to be able to count the bigger pile of dollars that can be there in front of you. Now, where do you go to from here? Well, you have a few choices. You can actually start adjusting your business model. You can tinker with it and work it out so that it's actually going to be more productive for you. And you can decide what sort of model it's going to be. Or you could adopt one or both of the approaches that you've just seen. Or you could develop another new approach to improve your business profits further, or you can simply do nothing. You can just sit there, stay in the slow lane, and watch your competitors blow smoke in your face as they sail past. Now, help is available. All you need to do is put up your hand. Instead of trying to figure it out, everything by yourself, why not ask for some help? It's taken me over 2 decades of practical application of business experience plus academic studies, and this involved management, marketing, economics, town planning, law, a few other things at various universities. It also involved postgraduate studies and diplomas in law, financial planning, finance and investment and real estate, and a few other things that are not relevant. Now, there's a limited time opportunity. There are only so many hours in the day and there are only so many people that I can help. If you want help, then all you need to do is ask. You're invited to do a JV, or alternatively opt in for some mentoring. It's your choice as to what you prefer. Whichever it's going to be, please contact me without delay. Now, you can contact me here on LinkedIn by clicking this particular link, or going to LinkedIn and just searching for my name. Now, when you do connect with me, please advise your Skype ID and the best days and times for contact, so you can have your obligation-free chat just by the asking. Looking forward to you making a smart move. That's it for now.